Hey friends, this is Dolynny TV. Glad to have you aboard here this morning as we get set up to discuss what was another 3-2 overtime victory for the Edmonton Oilers, but more broadly, what's going on with our Edmonton Oilers as we approach the Christmas break. Obviously, today playing against the Ottawa Senators at 6 p.m., but we are kind of closing out for Christmas today. And there is a ton of stuff that recently has started going the right way for the Oilers, and still a lot of stuff that, quite isn't going the right way for the Oilers. We'll discuss that more in a matter of moments, but before we get there, if you're new to the channel, I want you to consider hitting that subscribe button. You can take the length of the video, you can poke around the channel, whatever you need to make that decision. Let me know. It's free, it's easy, it's good to go, and obviously we continue on. So, for the Oilers last night, right? Connor McDavid, 3-point night. You had a great effort from the Oilers late to tie the game. Askarov was an amazing netminder for the Sharks, just not enough to put them past the Oilers offense. That when they want something, they're going to get it just the same as they got against the Boston Bruins. And then an overtime victory. Well, that's just pretty much you like your chances as the Oilers this year in overtime. We'll put it that way. But for the Oilers overall, I think you got to look at the big picture here. They continue to climb in the standings for the goals per game category, now inside a top 10 spot. So for this team that was, 31st in goal scoring at one point this season, and now to be top 10, that's pretty impressive. The goals against per game, 285, down to 13th in the NHL, which is huge there as well. Power plays crept up to top half of the league. Penalty kills sitting around 26 still, but there's going to be a lot of work that has to go in to make up for those early penalty kill goals against. So it's going to be a battle all year long. The Oilers' penalty kill will probably be lucky, even if they sustain 85 to 89% killing rate as they have over the past maybe 15 games. They'll be lucky to creep above 82% this year if they can maintain that for the rest of the 50-ish games on the calendar. So the Oilers crossed into the last 50 games of the year last night, playing game 33. After 33 games, Leon Draisaitl leads the Edmonton Oilers with 51 points, 24 goals, 27 assists. He's having a heck of a year. And if you just map that out, what he's kind of on pace for there, just not quite 2 points per game, but still a pretty dang good season. You look at that there, that's 126 points for Leo. You would love to see that for him. Connor, obviously, doing about the same, 48 points in 30 games, so three less. Pace probably a little bit better, in fact. And then it really, really drops off from there for the Edmonton Oilers. It's kind of been a weird season for them, even in terms of the other wingers in the top six and everybody in the bottom six scoring a lot of points. Evan Bouchard's got 25 points on the season. He's solidly in number 3 position in the team scoring. And then you've got Zach Hyman and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins both tied for 4th with 18 points. Now, Hyman's come alive as of late, scored a lot of goals. He's the only other double-digit goal scorer on the team outside of McDavid and Draisaitl with 12. But for Nuge, I mean, a lot was made early about how terrible his season has been, and he's still managed 18 points in 33 games, which realistically ain't that terrible. I know you'd love to see him more, but you know that Nugent Hopkins, when he scores those high point totals, 80 plus, he is a product of the power play to some degree, and right now Nugent Hopkins only has a third of his points on the power play. So suddenly you start seeing that power play get clicking. I guarantee you Nugent Hopkins will start getting towards that 75-point pace again that we're used to seeing him at. Matthias Ekholm then follows it up alongside Darnell Nurse. So inside the top 7 players, you've got your top 3 defensemen all with big point totals. And for Nurse, it's been kind of a resurgent season that's seen him at a half point per game. Again, anytime Nurse is above 40 points on the season, that really starts adding to that value for that contract. And then Connor Brown, who had a hot streak going there for about 4 games. Matthias Janmark's in there, who's been a quiet contributor, but really not contributing much in terms of shooting the puck. I think Matthias Janmark, if I'm looking at this right this year, has a total of 17 shots. So again, you look at how that shakes out. If Janmark would start shooting the puck a bit more, I'm sure the puck would start going in the net a bit more for Janmark. But that's to be said for, anybody in the bottom six, where Corey Perry's only got 30 shots, but he scored 6 goals. So, again, I think the biggest problem for the Oilers overall is they've got to solve that fourth line center position. They've been using Matthias Janmark there for the past 2 games. I don't think Derek Ryan's any longer the solution on the fourth line. Yes, I understand that he's handy for a face-off on the penalty kill when you need a right-hand shot. Other than that, he's really brought zero to no value this season, because you're just not giving him enough time to, A, and B, he has been removed from full-time penalty killing duties. So you look at him here averaging 9 minutes and 29 seconds time on ice. It's a problem for the Oilers overall, actually, realistically speaking. You look at a guy like Adam Henrique, who, he has penalty killing duties and he's a third line centerman, and he's solidly right there at 14:45. But you'd expect to see, your third line penalty killing center around that 15-minute mark. But again, Draisaitl, McDavid are in the upper word of 21 plus minutes a night, so it kind of cuts out a little bit there for you. And I think too, one thing I'd like to see is you've got Podkolzin and you've got Kapanen, who are riding shotgun with Draisaitl most nights and still only averaging 13 minutes a night this season. So there's a couple of areas for concern, and I'd be interested to see kind of as we get through the Christmas break, as we get to decision time for the Oilers when it comes to upgrading the wings by adding in Evander Kane. I know the updates kind of have them projected later into March now, but quite honestly, it's one of those things where we are going to have to figure out how the wings work, and obviously the Oilers are going to also have to figure out how ice time works for the guys that are on the cusp of losing a spot or on the bubble of keeping their spot, however you want to see that. Friends, that's really all I've got for you today as we look forward to the Ottawa Senators. I just wanted to talk about the lineup and some things I'm noticing, but if you want to get set up for the Ottawa Senators, I think the big thing is, didn't they beat the Canucks last night? I'm pretty sure. And for the Oilers, we got to really go out there and just, again, apply the pressure to a team that's on the back half of back-to-back, close this out, get 21 wins on the season, get up to 44 points, and kind of close out another Christmas where we could have done a lot better at the start of the year. We didn't, but we end up by Christmas having a pretty respectable record. Remember, this time last year, we were in the midst of a pretty incredible run. So, friends, that'll do it for me. Thank you so much for being aboard here today. Of course, anything related to the game tonight, I'll try and have covered. I should have a live stream up, and we should be ready to rock and roll for what should be a good game tonight against the Ottawa Senators. Friends, for right now, though, I'm up on gone. Enjoy your day. Get the Christmas shopping done, and we'll catch you game time tonight.